If Baldoni Gate hurt Lively's hair care line, the most recent nonsense with Swift may all but end it. Hi and welcome to Flawsome Talk. I'm Kersti Flo, and here on my channel I talk about my good and bad experiences in Hollywood working as an entertainment reporter, and as you know, a lot about Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni's legal drama. So the big news yesterday was that Justin Baldoni dropped the subpoena against Taylor Swift, and Blake Lively's team was celebrating it as a win. Which I talked a lot about in an episode I posted last night, which is so ridiculous because obviously it's not a win to them. The thing is, they didn't have to subpoena Taylor Swift because they did get exactly what they wanted from that letter that Brian Friedman sent to the judge. So now we all know that Blake Lively tried to blackmail Taylor Swift and threaten her or demand that she would delete text messages between her and Blake Lively. So yeah. Today, someone sent me an article from Puck. Thank you so much for doing that. They are talking about Blake's Lively's catastrophe hair care line. Because last time, as you know, when she launched Blake Brown this summer, it was a disaster, obviously, because of her. She's blaming it on Justin Baldoni. And of course, when that lawsuit became public, the sales of Blake Brown dropped even further. And now she decided to launch a mist. I spoke about that the other day. In the middle of all this drama with Taylor Swift, it's the worst timing ever imaginable. And as this article mentioned, it's not only the Taylor Swift drama that we learned about this week, we also got this big story in Daily Mail about 6 former employees that used to work for Blake when she had that lifestyle brand called Preserve back in, I think it was 2014 or 15. Anyways, she only had it for 1 year, and all these people were describing how disastrous it was to work in Blake Lively's company. So now she's trying to sell this mist. And this article goes into how disappointed Target is because these products are sold in Target. It says here that Blake Lively's hair care line was leveled by Baldoni Gates, and now a bizarre legal contra-temps involving Taylor Swift. Blake Brown has become a non-conversation at Target. According to a person familiar with its plunging sale, it went from $100 million brand to a $15 million brand. So this is the word you don't mention when you go to Target. Don't mention Blake Brown because they are really upset about it. And no wonder all these people who put so much time and energy into this brand, and then she ruined it. So it says here that the debut of Blake Brown was pretty strong. They sold for $5 million the first month. But since the launch, the hair care line has continued to decline. And it says here that it sold for less than $6.5 million from November through April, to the end of April. So that's the last 6 months, it only sold for $6.5 million. And when it launched, it sold for $5 million in the first month. So yeah, big drop. This journalist is saying that if Baldoni Gate hurt Lively's hair care line, the most recent nonsense with Swift may all but end it. Over the past month, weekly sales have hovered between 350,000 and 400,000, according to UP data. Meanwhile, I'm told the brand isn't even ranked in the top 50 hair care brands at Target. We've seen a massive slowdown in Blake Brown, so the person with knowledge of the business. Hair care is a bit of a broad category, but seeing them outside of the top 50 was interesting. A person close to Target estimates that Blake Brown will do less than 15 million in total sales in 2025. Blake Brown is a non-conversation at Target. This person added it went from a $100 million brand to a $15 million brand. So the person here says that if the celebrity, the founder of a brand, is not out hawking it nonstop authentically, it's not going to work. So I went into Blake Brown's Instagram to see what they're doing, and they're not posting one single picture of Blake Lively. Isn't that interesting? I was scrolling down and I couldn't find a single picture of Blake Lively on their Instagram. So they're definitely trying to distance themselves, but that's really hard because the brand has her name and it's hers. And now they're pretending that it has nothing to do with her. And at the same time, she keeps pushing it on her story on Instagram. So the last picture that Blake Brown posted on their Instagram is from December 2024. That's with Blake Lively when she won an award for Best Newcomer at WWD. These awards are so corrupt. It's ridiculous. Anyway, she was super proud of being awarded. And they had to close off the comment section or limit the comments on that post. That's how amazing she was as a newcomer. Also, there are some interesting new developments in who's supporting Blake and Ryan publicly and who's supporting Justin Baldoni publicly. So stay tuned for that. But first, I wanted to thank the sponsor of this video, CyberGhost VPN. Something I talk about a lot on my channel, and as a journalist in general, it's so important for me to do proper research before I report on anything. And that's why it feels so easy for me to recommend CyberGhost VPN. With over 38 million users and over 23,000 positive reviews on Trustpilot, you know you're in good hands. So let's be real here. The internet is full of shady sites and trackers, so online safety is more important than ever. Whether I'm researching sensitive topics, communicating with sources, or just trying to keep my personal data safe, I need a VPN I can trust. CyberGhost routes your traffic through a secure, encrypted tunnel, keeping your IP hidden and your personal data secure. Just turn it on before you browse and boom, 100% of your traffic is encrypted and rerouted through a secure server, keeping your IP hidden and your data private. No one, not hackers, no nosy advertisers, not even your internet provider can see what you're doing online. And unlike some sketchy VPNs out there, CyberGhost VPN doesn't keep a log or track of what you're doing. As you guys know, I'm in Spain right now, and it's amazing for me to log on to a VPN to actually watch shows that I would watch in the US. I have access to everything from here. I can even watch TV shows in Norway as long as I just turn on the VPN. You can also score better deals and access games that might be restricted in your region. CyberGhost works on all major platforms. The subscription covers up to 7 devices, meaning you can share it with your entire family or just keep it on all your own devices. Right now, they're offering a crazy deal of $2.03 a month and 4 months free. That's 84% off, plus a 45-day money-back guarantee and 24/7 support. Don't forget to click on the link in the description to access the special discount that CyberGhost VPN is offering you here on my channel and give you full access to all blocked content on the internet for only $2.03 a month. Total risk-free. Check it out, link in my description. Yes, so let's get into it. Blake Lively was promoting this herself yesterday or the day before. Her best friend couple, she doesn't have that many friends anymore. So she was saying on her Instagram, she was pushing this article that was in Variety about Rob McElhenney and his wife, Caitlin Olsen. I think most people don't really know who these people are, but he is an actor and he's also a co-owner of Wrexham, the soccer team that Ryan Reynolds bought and he's so proud of. So in the interview with them, they actually talked about Blake and Ryan. So apparently they kind of explained to Variety why they haven't gotten involved and supported them publicly. And their explanation for that is, it's just our way of staying connected and navigating something together. Well, and then they say, and also me giving and showing as much support as I possibly can with all the other stuff that he has going on that I know is so difficult and challenging, he says about Ryan Reynolds. And then he says, between discussing how to grow their football empire, the two men also exchanged countless funny memes and reels throughout the day. Rob admitted they hadn't spoken publicly as he continued, we both are just trying to offer our support in any way that we can that doesn't just simply add oxygen to the fire. Which means that he doesn't want to go out there and do it publicly because he knows that he will get a huge backlash online for doing so. But he doesn't have much choice here but to support Ryan, I think, because they own this soccer team together. They put so much time and money and effort into it. So he kind of just has to go out there and support him now, I guess. It's interesting because Daily Mail added this chart of the people who are Team Blake and the people that are keeping a distance. They did this a few months ago too, and voila, I'm on it. I'm here in really good company. I'm with Scarlett Johansson, Anna Kendrick, Penn Badgley, Colin Hoover, Gigi Hadid, Jennifer Garner, Travis Kelce, Selena Gomez, and Kjersti Flå. And then they put Taylor Swift in the middle here. I don't know why they put her orange. This was posted yesterday or published yesterday, and they obviously weren't friends. So maybe she's just like super enemy since she's in the middle, or I don't know. Maybe it wasn't updated. But anyways, Team Blake here is now Ryan Reynolds, not surprised. America Ferrera, gosh, she's still on the list. Amber Tamblyn, Alexis Bledel, all her co-stars from Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, and then Bart Johnson, who's married to her sister. Her sister isn't on here, though. I'm sure she's supportive of her. We've seen her with her sister, one of her sisters, Robin, in a lot of pictures, and Robin is married to Bart. Hugh Jackman is on the list, Amber Heard, and then they put Emily Blunt and Stanley Tucci. I didn't know that Stanley Tucci was actually married to Emily Blunt's sister, but he is. Anyways, I'm not sure if Emily Blunt is supportive anymore. As I mentioned a couple of days ago, I think that John Krasinski, or he doesn't follow Blake Lively anymore, and I think he was following her. Someone sent me an email saying that I'm quite sure that he used to follow her, and they're close friends with them. So it's really weird that he wouldn't follow her to begin with, but now he doesn't anymore. And Emily Blunt is not on Instagram, so we don't know by looking at that. So, but yeah, I think John Krasinski and Emily Blunt are also like taking a step back. And I think, now that Taylor Swift came out and said what she said yesterday, she wished she never met Blake and she wished she had seen all the red flags. I think it's safe to say that more bigger star celebrities that are friends with them will take a step back more publicly because now it's okay to do it because Taylor Swift already did. Funny enough, Brandon Sklenar, Isabella Ferrer is not on the list anymore, so I don't know. There's also a story in Us Weekly about Justin Baldoni's co-star Brett Deer, who also weighs in on the drama. They were starring together in Jane the Virgin, and he says here in a quote, "It's a really intense situation. I probably shouldn't say much, but I'll say this. I always loved Justin." I think that's a good quote. You don't have to say much, but you can say that. You don't have to get involved, but and I think a lot of these people, I don't know who this actor is actually, because I haven't watched Jane the Virgin, but especially these kind of not bigger star to come out and say something, it's really risky for them. So I think this was great that he said that. I always love Justin, which means that he thinks Justin is a good guy, and he probably believes him. It says here that he's always been an amazing friend to me. I'm just hoping everything resolves in time. Also, Glenda sent me something interesting again. Thank you, Glenda, so much. She always keeps sending me great stuff. I don't know about this, but it is worth a thought. She mentioned, remember before Deadpool versus Wolverine, how there were all these rumors about Taylor Swift's being Ladypool? And then it turned out she wasn't. She had nothing to do with the movie.
Taylor Swift.
She is the nanny for these guys. She's at your house enough.
For another song.
The fourth child's name, the baby's name, anywhere on the new record.
Well, we always wait for Taylor to tell us what the child's name is.
What is Ryan's favorite Taylor Swift song?
Ryan Reynolds kept planting these little seeds. So we would believe that Taylor Swift was Ladypool, so it would create more fuzz about the movie. And as she's saying in this email, did they actually agree on that? Or did Ryan Reynolds do that without her permission, like probably Blake Lively did with It Ends With Us, and just use Taylor's name to push the brand and to push the movie? I don't know how this fits together, but Taylor Swift did actually promote that Deadpool versus Wolverine on her Instagram, and she even had a link to where you can buy tickets, and she was raving about how amazing Ryan Reynolds is. So I don't know if Disney paid her to do that, paid her for that one post, or if that was an agreement. Like I said in an episode last week, Taylor Swift doesn't do anything for free. And it wouldn't be in her own favor to do anything for free, because then people would start expecting her to do them favors too. And why would she promote a Disney movie without getting any money for it? That doesn't sound like her. So I think definitely there was some money involved in that post. But as Glenda is pointing out in this email, maybe it started already there. You know, that Ryan was pushing her and using her name for his movie, and then Blake continued doing it, and she was like, I had enough of this. Also, as you know, the judge tossed out the letter that Justin Baldoni's lawyer sent him, where he was explaining everything that had happened between Taylor Swift and Blake Lively, the blackmailing and so on. And there have been some talks, some legal talks. I've seen some videos on YouTube about this. And some legal experts are saying that it's not very smart to attempt to use the legal system for PR purposes, like, you know, Justin Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, have been accused of doing. And they're quoting an opinion here. This is an article on Reuters. Thank you for sending it to me, by the way. And it says here that just because a document is filed in court, that doesn't make it credible. And in fact, allegations appearing in such documents might be less credible than those published elsewhere. The legal expert that they talked to here says that the judge may huff and huff about publicity tactics like he did, you know, with Brian Friedman when he tossed out that letter. But it says here that there are very few cases where lawyers actually get sanctioned. And as you know, both Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have been writing the judge, asking him to sanction Brian Friedman and Justin Baldoni's team for filing these frivolous and baseless claims against them. And it says here that that's very unlikely to happen. I also find it interesting the words that they used when they were talking about how Brian Friedman was using the legal system. And it says here that the sole purpose was to promote public scandal by advancing inflammatory accusations. So they were accused of promoting public scandal. And I was thinking, you know, what was the sole purpose of Blake Lively suing Justin Baldoni to begin with? Wasn't that to promote public scandal? Why did she go to the New York Times if she didn't want to promote a public scandal? And she never came out publicly and say why she chose to do it that way, why she chose to go and file this complaint with the CRD first, why she chose to go to the New York Times. She never said anything of what she wants from this. Does she only want money? If she really wanted to help other victims to come forward, she should have said something about that. She hasn't mentioned other victims still, even through that whole promo tour of It Ends With Us, she didn't mention other victims. So it's funny to me how everything they're accusing Justin Baldoni's team of doing, they're doing themselves all the time. And also remember who started this. You know, she started putting this out in public. To me, it seems like Blake Lively's sole purpose here was just to ruin Justin Baldoni and Wayfarer. It wasn't about anything else. It wasn't for a greater good. And I think that's also one of the reasons why she hasn't received much support. All right, you guys, that's it for me today. Thanks for watching Flawsome Talk, and thanks for sending me all the tips. Please keep them coming. I'm also working on a podcast now, so I'll be on Amazon and Spotify and Apple and iHeart and all the big platforms soon. I'm thinking to do like a weekly recap there. So let me know what you think about that and if you would be listening. I think I will post the same episodes here on YouTube. I'm working on a few different things. But anyways, thank you guys for your support. Have a wonderful weekend. And don't forget to click on the link in the description to access the special discount that CyberGhost VPN is offering you here on my channel. And give you full access to all blocked content on the internet for only $2.03 a month. Total risk-free. Check it out. Link in my description. Bye.